This is my 2014 Fiat 500 Abarth, and on the last episode, I decided I wanted to save it from getting scrapped, and in order to make that happen, I tore apart 10 different Fiats for parts. And on this episode, I am going to take all these used parts and try to revive it from the dead. If you missed part 1, check it out here.
This didn't seem like a lot of parts when I was pulling stuff, but now I'm seeing everything here, and yeah, my whole entire floor is covered in parts, so oh boy.
We're just gonna get right into it, and the plan of attack is to get the interior done first since it takes up the most space on my floor. I had pulled a dashboard from a regular Fiat, and the only difference is the hole that holds the cluster cover in place.
I know some people probably don't like the fact that I'm cutting into the dash, that it's not factory, that you should have just got the right dash to begin with. Let me remind you something. Bruh. That's factory. This is the work of Fiat, of Abarth right here.
Knowledge.
So I think I'm definitely doing factory work right now. All right, first step in putting this interior back together is gonna be the seat belts. So we need to go ahead, put the seat belts and the igniters in, then we can fit the trim, then tighten up the back seats, and then we can move on. Next thing is the ignition. This car was not crashed, but this thing was broken off, and this breaks in every single Abarth or Fiat that's been in an accident. So you have to replace these. They're not that expensive online. I'd say just order one. I just wanted one locally, so I went ahead and got one from the junkyard, and it was cheap. And then now I can just take my original key, pop it in, and now we have what is like new ignition. And then I also just got regular bolts instead of the security bolts that they use for this. A little finicky, a little annoying, but moving on, and we're gonna get all this put on super fast now.
Before this car, I had really only done a couple of things to a couple different Fiats, and honestly, after diving this far into this one and all the parts cars, I will say they're pretty easy to work on overall, and if you're considering getting one, I'd say do it. There have been a bunch of parts I saved money on along this build, and the airbag is another one because airbags that say Abarth on them go for around $300 here, yet a regular Fiat airbag I got locally for $40 and just ended up switching the badge plate. The Abarth one was a little bent from the explosion. I bent it back a bit. I could have put a little bit more time into it and made it perfect, but regardless, it worked and it clicked right in and saved like 300 bucks.
This is an Abarth seat, and this is not from this car, but it was from a car that's been in an accident. I managed to buy the airbag already, but this seat also sat outside, so I need to clean it, try to re-dye some of the really bad parts, sew it back together, and try to salvage what we can, because these are kind of expensive and hard to find locally, especially. So let's just clean it, take it apart, and go from there.
This airbag was from a regular Fiat seat that was torn up from the elements, but it was identical. I also decided to learn how to stitch this seat up, which took me way longer than I wanted and didn't turn out great, but the end goal is to find a replacement seat whenever a car gets parted out locally. But for now, it's gonna be just fine for what I'm doing. Real quick, let's just take a glance of what it used to look like so you can appreciate the budget renovation. And honestly, I think it turned out fantastic considering we used a bunch of really bad or low quality used parts.
Okay, interior looks fantastic. Realistically, I should be doing the engine, but I want to get stuff off of my floor. I tried opening the trunk by jumping the battery terminals, and it won't open. So I get to crawl back there and get it open. Fix one thing, unravel 7 more things that are wrong with this car and things that I'm missing. It's time to put the engine in, but I need to install some covers and some little stuff and then we could put it in. I'm gonna reuse the timing belt. It's been replaced recently. It's still got writing on it, so it can't be that old. And the water pump and everything, it's been replaced. I ain't worried about it. I didn't really film it because I was kind of figuring things out as I went. This is a new Chinese eBay turbo I got for 100 bucks on Marketplace. This is some cheap diverter valve I got locally as well for 30 bucks, which will give me that psh that I'm looking for. I'm hoping that I'm done and I have all the parts and that I don't need to go pull any more parts from any other Fiats after all these different junkyard runs, except I have a confession. I bought another Fiat. Okay, so this is a turbo Fiat 500. Not an Abarth, but they share almost everything. My main thing is the bumper and the core support. I was gonna originally use a regular Fiat 500 core support, but it involves a little bit of chopping and a little bit of spacing out to make things fit. And this one popped up for 650 bucks, and these bumpers sell online for like 700. And so, yeah, I'd rather just do this, and then I get the blacked out headlights and whatever other goodies I need, and then it's like it never was not an Abarth, and no weird kind of stuff going on.
So before I bought the parts car, I had found this $900 front mount intercooler that had a hole in it on Facebook for 150 bucks, and decided to pull the trigger on a cheap Amazon TIG welder during Prime Day and learned how to weld it up. It wasn't perfect, but it was definitely going to do the job, and was a great excuse to buy a TIG welder for future projects. I just want to take a second to thank everyone who has donated during the life of the channel. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. The car was completely out of gas, and after some fresh fuel, it ran great. So I moved on to making the AC work, which didn't go well.
Okay, I got an Abarth hat. Not super happy with the Abarth right now. AC will not engage. I know this compressor is good. I mean, this whole system only has 60,000 miles on it. It's got to be good. So I tested everything, and I'm not getting power. I jumped the relay. I got nowhere with it. I tried to find wiring diagrams. Couldn't find any useful information like whatsoever. So I just started tracing wires, and I found why the AC is not engaging. And check this out. So on this connector, if you see this wire, this black and brown wire is one down from the top on the old harness, and on the other car's harness, maybe because it's a cabriolet, I cannot confirm nor deny, it's on the top one. So I need to repin this to be on the top, and then I will have connection and continuity through the wires, which then should make this compressor turn on. So yeah, I don't know if it's because of the year difference or because the engine I have in here is from a cabriolet and I use the harness from there. I'm not sure why, but that's the only difference in the connector for whatever reason. But now I have AC. Is that not insane? We had to literally drag this thing over here with no suspension, the engine barely hanging in, everything bad, the interior not even anything. It's terrible. This thing has been a parts car for 5 years, and then before that, we have no idea how long it was sitting in auction, and before that, how long it was sitting at a mechanic shop, because it was in the auction because it had a bad engine. So it's like, I mean, let's even say like 7 years. This is the first time this thing has just moved under its own power in 7 years, and it was gonna get scrapped, but it's back, and now it sounds great with that diverter valve, the intake, fantastic. Don't worry, I do want to paint it and do graphics and do some fun stuff to it. Might take a little bit longer because I'm a little burned out on Abarths and Fiats because I've torn apart 9 of them and I got to sell this other one. Yeah, this is insane. It just puts a smile on my face. You hear that? You hear how this thing sounds? Insane. It's awesome. Okay, so after driving this thing home, I noticed that there was a hole in a radiator hose. So I need to change that. My boost gauge does not work, and then I have an ESC light. But part of me has a theory that maybe I swapped connectors or something. So I got to take a look at that, and then I still need to program my digital dash. But otherwise, I mean, this thing runs good, feels good, and is a good time to drive. So hopefully after these couple of things, I can drive it with no problems, and then just keep dialing it in, making it a little bit nicer. Okay, so I've been doing a bunch of research, and in general, the programming did good, right? Because I'll have, right, it says Abarth and everything. And we got the Abarth gauges, the sport mode works, but see that, the blue and me, from what I've seen from other people, the gauge will still not light up if you have this specific cluster. And the only solution is to get a different cluster or an aftermarket boost gauge. And I'm leaning towards aftermarket boost gauge. Because, I mean, why not, right?
Alright, so a huge amount of progress was made, but there's still a bunch of work to be done. So I'll have to end the episode here. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you at the next one.